Welcome to the February 22nd, 2024 school board meeting. Would you please join me for a moment of silence? Thank you. Will you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the United States of America, the Republic which stands one God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Next, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or changes we need to make? Mr. Parker?
I would like to see if we can remove 3C2 for a later discussion during the budgets, because that probably needs to be talked about in some budget conversation. If it doesn't make it in some budget conversation, it probably needs to be talked about in a work session later on.
Second.
Also on 3B6, under that approve the $800 bonus, that's not just for teachers, that's for all employees. So I'd like to make that correction.
3B what? 6.
Under
Six.
3B6.
Approve
I was looking for the
$800.
number.
Not, it's got 4
Oh,
teachers.
It's for staff.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No. I'm good.
We also need to add under 3C maintenance, make it 3C3, board approval of the inspection and maintenance agreement for the wastewater retention plan. Mr. Parker?
4C, policy 5101. Can we table that till we have our new director?
That one's not on the adjusted.
It's not on yours. Okay, sorry.
That's
Still on
fine.
mine.
That's fine.
Mine.
Ooh, I don't want to cut the just agenda apparently.
It's in your mail.
The 4C111 is the calendar. That's the one you wanted to table?
No, I want 5.101.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still got the old one. Sorry.
Is there anything other than that that would be on the revised one? Okay.
Is there anything on the revised one that we don't have on the original?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Move to approve?
I need to add one more.
Oh, sorry.
We need to add the legislative resolution approval under administration. So 4D.
Motion to approve as amended?
We have a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Second by Mr. Haley. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next, we have approval of minutes from previous meetings. We've got minutes from January 29th, February 1st, February 2nd, and February 9th. Are there any comments or corrections?
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve and a second by Mr. Parker.
There's.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is public comment on actionable items. Thank you. Next, we have recognitions, staff and school recognitions. Dr. McCord.
Yes, first I'd like to recognize a young lady that was recognized by the Tennessee Secretary of State. Trey Haggard announced the civics essay contest winners, and Miss Isabella Duran got third place in the state for her essay. And so I'd like to have Miss Duran come up here and get a certificate from us, and congratulations. Represents Dickson County well. A second award I'd like to give out tonight, it goes to our middle school softball coach who has been honored as a distinguished TSSAA service award. And her name is Miss Madeline Floyd. And congratulations, Madeline. Oh, they're around. Good job. Turn around so everybody will say it too. Y'all smile. Good job. You know, you have to get all over there. Along with that, this week, our district got some great news from the state. We had 6 reward schools. A reward school is a school that in the district has a score on a ranking between 3.1 and 4.0, which doesn't tell you a whole lot. But in the state of Tennessee, there was only 400 schools out of 1,843 schools in the state, and Dickson County had 6 of those. So I'd like to recognize those schools and congratulate them, and certainly not in any particular order other than that's where I placed them on my shelf. The first one is the Discovery School, and I want to ask you something. See, yeah, coming around. There's Banner for you. Congratulations. And we're really, really proud of them. Thank you. What everybody calls and do all that stuff. All right. Congratulations. This one goes to Creekwood High School. First. Yes, good job, guys. Oh, yeah, I have to get in a minute. Yay, congratulations. Stuart Burns Elementary School. Dickson Elementary School. Go. Congratulations. Proud of y'all. Charlotte Elementary School. Is she here?
She's not feeling well.
Okay, well, I do Charlotte Elementary. Somebody want to come up and accept this for you? don't want to leave anybody out that owns this. Big deal. Last but not least, Centennial Elementary School. So proud of y'all. That's all I've got for today. Not bad.
Congratulations to all those schools. Next, we have student board representatives, Ms. Pitney and Mr. Albright. Mr. Albright.
Hello, I'm thrilled to be back to report Red Hawk happenings. At Creekwood, we have been busy through the first part of quarter 3, yet are excited to continue towards the later half of the year. Starting with academics, tutoring is offered in English, social studies, math, science, and ACT prep after school Monday through Thursday. February 5th through the 9th was National School Counseling Week. At Creekwood, we are very grateful for the work of our counselors, and we were excited to celebrate them. Along with Information Night on the 15th for upcoming 9th graders, Creekwood hosted Charlotte and William James Middle School's 8th graders on February 6th to get a feel for the campus and see what programs we have to offer. A Tennessee Promise meeting was held for seniors on the 12th of February to help them create a path towards a career. On February 15th, students who met a certain criteria in attendance, behavior, and grades were rewarded with a field trip to Roxy Movie Theater. Parent-teacher conferences were also held this day. Next, 62 applicants were chosen for work-based learning for the 2024-2025 school year. And lastly, on February 8th, Creekwood announced the top 10% of the graduating class. This included the 22 students with the highest long average over all 4 years. This list was highlighted by valedictorian Gabrielle Worden and salutatorian Heath Albright. Now on to sports. Our homecoming for basketball was held on February 6th. Coming in first place in our dance battle was the junior class, then seniors, freshmen, and sophomores. Both boys and girls have had a successful season as we head deep into tournament play. Our boys squad earned District 11 3A champions over Fairview and will begin regional play on Saturday at home. Our girls earned District 11 3A runner-up and continue regional play at home on Friday. Our baseball, tennis, boys soccer, track, and softball teams have all begun training as their seasons creep up. CW Wrestling had an excellent showing at their sectional tournament at Harpeth High School, as the following wrestlers will be competing at the state championships: Jackson Dawson, Stone Grove, Gage Getz, and Anthony Collins. In addition, Creekwood Winter Guard placed second in their class at their opening competition and will travel to Wilson Central High School for their next competition this weekend. Finally, clubs. After semester 1, select freshmen are now eligible for Beta Club. They have attended their first meeting and are just getting started with their Beta journey. The HOSA Club is in preparation for their American Red Cross Blood Drive, hosted at Creekwood on March 11th. CWHS Club International held a meeting after school on February 5th for anyone interested in joining. Today, our youth leadership students traveled around the county to various justice facilities and important industries for their annual Jail and Industry Day. The CWHS Performing Arts presents their play, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, based on the comic strip Peanuts by Charles M. Schulz. The show dates include March 15th through the 17th and the 22nd through the 24th in the Creekwood Auditorium. They have teamed up with the Hawks Nest Press for tickets and t-shirts for the event. Tickets are $12 pre-sale and $15 at the door. Our FFA Club submitted 3 individuals for competition this year. Mia Nonner, Mackenzie Nelson, and Callie Bone won their respective divisions and will travel to Gatlinburg during spring break for state convention. Also, welding hosted the Western Welding Academy from Wyoming, which brought in a number of students from other schools in our region. To cap it off, our STEAM X robotics team was interviewed by News Channel 5 earlier this month. With all of that being said, we are excited to see what is ahead for Creekwood throughout the third 9 weeks. Let's go Red Hawks. Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations, Mr. Albright.
Thank you.
Ms. Pitney.
Happy February, everyone. We've been extremely busy with activities on the Hill, so here's a little bit of a Cougar breakdown to catch you up. Starting with sports. As mentioned at the last meeting, our girls bowling team competed in the TSSAA State Bowling Tournament, where they placed in the top 4 teams, along with Creekwood. There have only ever been 8 people to bowl a 300-point game in the TSSAA sanctioned event of bowling, and Emily Fuller not only became the 9th person to, but she also is the only female ever. Congratulations to Emily Fuller and the rest of the bowling team on a fantastic season. Our DCHS cheer team had a successful trip to their national competitions in Orlando, Florida. Coach Lissa explained just how hard this cheer team has worked and that these girls created a legacy that will pave the way for so many future DC cheerleaders. Congratulations. Our DCHS men and women's basketball teams have both participated in the district tournament. The DCHS Cougars basketball team placed third in the district and advanced to regional play. Josh Cope, DJ Ham, and Isaiah Darden received all district awards, and Elijah Fernandez received all tournament honors. They will play at Kirkwood on Saturday at 7 p.m. The DCHS Lady Cougars basketball team were the runner-ups in the district play and also advanced to regionals. Keely Webb and Jenna Sane both received all district and all tournament awards. The ladies will host their first regional game at home on Friday against Springfield. The game will begin at 7 p.m. and we invite you all to come out and cheer on the Cougars. With basketball beginning to wrap up their season, our spring sports are firing up. Sports such as baseball, softball, tennis, boys soccer, and track and field have all begun practices for their upcoming seasons. This week, our DC baseball team participated in a scrimmage against PCA where they won 10-5 and 8-1. Outside of sports, our students have been hard at work in the classroom. In early February, the top 10% of the 2024 senior class was announced. The valedictorian is Bo Kerr, and our salutatorian is Madeline Finney. In our youth leadership class, junior Shelby Adams, Jamie Fuzzle, Aubrey Stamper, and English Smith went to the state capitol yesterday. These 4 students had the opportunity to speak to the House of Representatives Education Committee on behalf of a bill about ACT work keys. In addition to this, our youth leadership was able to tour the Dickson County Jail and courthouse along with Creekwood today during school. Outside of instruction in our classes, the senior class has been working on superlatives. Seniors were able to nominate students earlier this month and voting took place on Tuesday. Results of the voting should be announced soon. Last week, 8th graders from both Dickson Middle School and Burns Middle School toured our CTE programs at the high school. The adult leadership of Dickson County also visited the high school this morning where they were able to tour the CTE programs as well. With CTE tours over, our upcoming freshmen have been able to register for the 2024-2025 school year beginning Monday and concluding today. We cannot be more excited to see these future Cougars on the Hill in August. Students and staff at Dickson County High School continue to be the best of the best and are looking forward to the upcoming month. Thank you.
Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you.
Next, we have staff reports and recommendations under finance.
Monthly financial report will be next.
Okay.
If you look at your monthly finance report, you will see that our expenditures are slightly below the same period last year, only at 49% versus 50%. So every little bit helps there. And our revenues are actually higher than compared to last year's. Any questions on the monthly financial report?
Any questions on the monthly reports?
Still have a healthy fund balance.
One of them separate.
We have a motion to approve the monthly reports.
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments on the monthly reports?
Question.
Mr. Haley?
The federal funds, is that part of this also? The federal
140.
funds,
142, yes.
so part of the federal, is that balance difference, is that because of that you may transfer in at some point in time, or page I'm looking at 142, shows us some dates with brackets around it.
The expenditures and the revenues.
So a lot of
Higher.
it's committed money.
Excuse me. Linda, can you?
I'll pass it on.
Two funds are in and out,
Okay, right.
and they're reimbursed.
So the reimbursement, I guess that's requested reimbursement funds.
Yes, a part of that will be, but as of, end of January, we had 352,000 in more or less in the bank.
Okay.
Because we also have a $500,000 fund balance cushion for that. But now 142 funds are in and out. We have to request those monies, we spend them and then request them and we get reimbursement.
That answers my question. I appreciate that.
Right.
Thanks.
Next, we'll look at our.
Any other questions? Wait,
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboard,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The quarterly report next. No, there's several items here that you had questions on. You have anything they want to ask on yet?
I'm gonna ask on, page 4, under 713000429, where we've only spent 11%.
That's instructional supplies. This is from the ISM grant. And we have to budget the funds each year, but not necessarily will we spend all of them in one year since it's a 3-year grant.
Thank you.
That's part of that $4 million ISM grant that we got originally. So we have to budget those funds every year. Even though they're again, we do not receive them until we
Thank you, Ms. Frazier.
Also, I want you to look at 71100-499 under textbooks. We've only spent 1% of that budget. And the reason being is we used ESSER money to purchase those textbooks, knowing that that was in the budget, but now that money can be put into the fund balance. We had to expend those ESSER dollars.
Was that math books?
Yes, I think that was math textbooks, yes.
Any other questions?
Just since we're asking on page 5, the SRO, the 309, my glasses,
Page 5.
page 5, 309. Is that actually,
we're billed for that by the state, by the city and the county, but we do not get those invoices until the end of the year, whenever we're completed with the school year.
Can you talk about the overage in the maintenance category 726203999?
That is the contracted services category, and
It's on
kind
page
of
2.
depending upon what happens in the maintenance department, whether we have to do some additional contracted services, and this is services over and above what our maintenance personnel can do. But out of this is like the sprinkler inspections, the alarm systems, and a lot of this money is encumbered, but not yet spent. So whenever you see the numbers that are here in the year-to-date spending category, it is also including the encumbrances. So we have like the sprinkler inspection. We've issued that PO, but we haven't expended anything off of that yet. So there may be some balances on the POs that need to be cleared, and that all takes place usually on a monthly basis, definitely on a quarterly basis, that we make sure we're clearing out those encumbrances that we know that we've spent all of that PO, and so that we can more or less free up that money.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Motion to approve the quarterly reports.
Motion to approve the quarterly reports. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Haley. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is to accept the Dickson County audit findings. There were no Dickson County audit findings for our department. I did not put the audit findings because I handed the draft out last month, but I did put in here on 3B. I put that in there. I wanted you to see the fund balance as of today. I think it was a little higher than what you had thought it was. If you look on it, it's page 125 is what's down at the middle of the page, and the fund balance is 37. Is that correct? 37 447. Yeah.
Million.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that right this time.
Zero here, decimal point here or there.
Thousands and millions.
Any questions?
Motion,
Yeah.
motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion to accept and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yep.
Motion carries.
The next item up for is to approve a budget amendment number 5. This is a state special education preschool grant. Ms. Fraser.
This is one of the grants that really came in after we had already adopted the budget. And it is imperative that we approve all grants and make sure that that gets noted in the minutes as such. So as you can see, budget items there, that is under Dr. Johnson's department that she takes care of and spending those funds. But it will again be, it is a state grant for $113,640.54.
Thank you, Ms. Frazier. Do we have a motion to approve the grant?
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Haley and a second by Mr. Underwood. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is a budget amendment number 6. We received from the governor some additional money. It's a public safety grant. And if you look at our expenditures, you can see we've already expended out some of that money. So that's why that line item is a little bit over 100%. But it is the money that we've used. We put film on the glass in the buildings for security and safety. That is what that money has been used for.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Parker, second by Mr. Underwood. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is to approve an $800 bonus for all staff, teachers, and support staff as well, using our ESSER money. Again, we had until, we're trying to get it expended out by June. And so we had put it in the budget that we would give a bonus, and that's how much we could give for this year.
It's a retention bonus for employees that were hired before November 17th and remained with us into the second semester.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderhort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Do we have to make a
Hold on, do I need a
disclaimer?
disclaim on that?
Probably should.
Yeah, I disclaim that I'm gonna disclaim how Kirk does it because I think that's accurate. Put the words in there. He's been doing it longer than me.
Well, you remembered, so that's good. So, my wife is a teacher in the school system, and it does not impact my vote as far as my vote in the affirmative to approve it.
Mine too.
I have a son. Mine too.
Thank you.
Thank you for remembering that, Mr. Parker. Next, under maintenance.
Mr. Clifton has requested for the board to approve some furniture for Dickson County High School, Dickson Middle, and Creekwood. It's in the regular furniture budget, and the pricing is using the TIPS contract. Mr. Clifton, that's a state contract, I'm assuming. It's over 25,000, so we must have board approval on that. I believe it's for $40,000.
You said it's in the current budget, correct?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the purchase of the furniture for DCHS, Dickson Middle, and Creekwood in a second. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderhort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Next is the board approval of the inspection and maintenance agreement for the wastewater retention plan.
Board members, this is, it's a part of the Dickson Middle School project. We had to have that retention pond, and the city makes us enter into a long-term maintenance plan to take care of that retention pond. I mean, we've already approved it, and the reason the board has to approve this is because it's a long-term contract. It's not a short-term contract. I mean, it goes on as long as that retention pond is there and that property's ours. So we have to keep up the retention pond and keep it clean. Sure. But our maintenance department will be the ones handling that. I mean, it's not,
Mr. Clifton?
no,
That contract, that we will do some of that, but it also has to be inspected annually by an architect or engineer.
yeah,
Which is
that's right. Thank you for reminding me.
contracting
of that.
service.
Yeah. But that inspection process is.
Other than the inspection process, there's no cost, and it's just needs to be done to it. The contract is an agreement to do it, not a dollar figure.
That's right. There's no dollar figure. It's just the board's agreement that we will take care of this maintenance pond as long as that maintenance pond exists on our property.
We won't let cattails grow up in it. We'll call it straight.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that. That project being completed, if I remember, the design work had some plants for it are not there. Does this affect, has that been signed off on and completed at this point? The entire project has been signed off on, and does this affect it?
It has been done. I spoke with Mr. Bargatze several times about that, and the city approved the project, but we never got the detention ponds finished. He was waiting because that was done in the summer and it was dry, and they knew plants wasn't going to make it, so I think he had a local landscape contractor. And it's very minimal what's in there, but they did go over and dig it out, put some topsoil in. Don't ask me what kind of plants they are, but there is vegetation in the bottom of that now like it's supposed to be. And so they're good with that.
Good, thank you.
I'm assuming the reason is with the city is because of runoff and having to control it and things of that nature.
That's correct.
Yeah. Thus,
That's why we had to put the retention pond
Purpose
in
of
the
the-
first place. because
purpose
we
of
put
the
that
contract.
employee. So now we have to
Yeah.
have the retention pond to catch the
That's
wastewater
right.
so it doesn't dump straight into the sewer system.
That's the need.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the inspection and maintenance agreement and a second by Mr. Vandervoort. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have human resource report.
If you'll look in your packet under 3EI, you'll see our human resources report for February. It's rather small, so that's a good thing for all of us. But we've got most of our positions covered in some capacity or the other. So feel like we're rolling right along.
Will you call out the retirees?
Yes. Carol Floyd, Rhonda Madden, Katie Maines, and Ginger Regent. If you'll look at those years of service, that's a lot of service that we'll be losing at the end of this year. Carol Floyd had 34 years, Rhonda Madden with 41 years. Katie Maines has been here 22 years, and Ginger Regent has been here 28 years. So, Rhonda, congratulations. I know you've done a great job, and we appreciate all your work.
Thank you. Next, we have under school nutrition.
School Nutrition is asked to have approval for a truck. It is a F-250 crew cab, four-wheel drive pickup truck, a 2023. Mr. Williams has stated that he needs this truck so that he can haul food service equipment and various things. Also, when it snows and we have snow days, his maintenance people have to go around and check all the coolers and make sure that everything is in working order, obviously, or we lose food and various things. Is that pretty much it, Mr.
Right.
Williams?
Last time, he had to bring his own pallet, and if he could get to the schools, he would not have had food things that were good for him. And we're currently using, it's not ours, that he's using, from the generous, loaning of our maintenance department, he's allowed to, use that truck. It's not nutrition's truck.
And the funds will be taken from excess in your fund balance.
Fund balance
From,
from school nutrition.
thank you.
No local bidder?
It's a state contract.
No, but they don't ever check with us. I mean, our local. Okay. Low price is good.
But my question was on the funding. I want to just be clear that is available in your reserve funds. Do we have to make an amendment for that, or is it just there to be used?
We have the fund, but it wasn't part of the original budget.
It won't go
Say that right
in.
now.
That's
Ms. Linda
right,
can help.
and there will be a budget amendment to come along to take care of this. The funds are there. It's a little bit different in school nutrition. He has to report to the state about excess funds, and he has to submit a plan of how he's gonna spend those. That was a little bit of misunderstanding whenever we put the budget together last year. So there will be a budget amendment forthcoming, not only for this, but for some other purchases that were done earlier in the year.
Thank you.
Okay? To clean everything up for us, okay?
The,
Parker?
it said the word fund balance, but it's not coming out of our fund balance. It's coming out of excess funds in the nutrition budget that they already have.
Yes, and the school nutrition fund balance, not the one y'all are working with.
School nutrition budget is a lot different than our budget. And I don't understand it. I really don't. It's a budget inside of a budget that comes from I don't even know where it comes from, but it's,
Two places, either the federal government reimbursing what somebody ate, or somebody ate and paid for it,
yeah, and it's
like a
a,
restaurant.
it's hard to comprehend, but it's not coming out of our fund balance. It's nothing mean, anything. A budget amendment's not a big deal, right? I mean, that happens. We just amend it at the end of the fiscal year. Is that right?
Yes, there will be, and actually will probably be a budget amendment before we do some of the others, just to get some things cleaned up.
Okay.
We're not going to have to increase ice cream prices, are we?
That's right. Go up to $1.10.
It's a standard budget.
Yeah.
Mr. Underwood?
What are you gonna haul with this truck?
We have a closed, in our fund balance, we wanted a transport that could haul warmers. We like, when we had the legislative dinner here, we had a hall warmer over to here from our central kitchen. And different times there are things to haul that can't go in the back of the truck or a flatbed trailer. So we've got a housed-in trailer to if equipment is high, so we can tie in. And of course, again, it was maintenance truck.
So you're
It's
just
a
gonna
little bit
use it
older
to
model,
pull that trailer?
that trailer and the equipment. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the F-250 for nutrition, and we have a second. Any other discussion?
I got one other question.
Mr.
Where,
Underwood?
where will this truck be kept? Will it be kept at the transportation department, use when they need it, or at the food
Our
department?
maintenance, yeah, our school nutrition maintenance manager will use it daily.
So it'll be there.
Because he goes to each school.
Gotcha.
And he'll be driving it daily.
Thank you, thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes?
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Well,
It'll be just like
Motion carries.
when you grow up.
Next, we have approved purchase of a pass-through refrigerator and heating cabinet.
Again, that's out of nutrition. If you'll look at the bids they have requested, the lowest bid from Cook's Direct is a pass-through refrigerator and pass-through heated cabinets. One goes to Centennial Elementary, and I believe two of them go to Oakmont Elementary.
And this is a Sourcewell contract. Yes.
Will this be coming out of your budget as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion to approve the low bid.
Motion to approve the low bid from Cook's Direct. You have a second?
second.
Second by Mr. Haley. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes?
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item under student services is several field trip requests. I do hope y'all notice there's quite a bit of information that goes with these requests. I have been pretty adamant since our issues that we've had previously that needs to be done every time so that we know where they are at all points. I ask that you approve these. Some of them are a great deal in advance, and some of them you may have to acknowledge they have, like the girls regional boys sectional tournament was February 16th and 17th, but they just found out that they were allowed to come and compete for it, so they don't get them until after the fact. But
Mr. Haley?
So reading over these last week or so, the work obviously much more extensive information. I appreciate that. I want to make a motion to approve, but in that motion, I want it to be, motion to approve contingent on, documentation of the proper chaperone street strip. I know that there's probably just some confusion on the wording and those things, but I do want the motion to approve them, and I do want the condition upon the director or the principal verified document chaperone that was.
Second motion.
You have one.
No, but I will.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve them contingent on the ones that don't have the chaperones marked to give the information to Dr. McCord. Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderwort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next item is, sure most of you don't recognize it. This year we were monitored. We're still in the middle of monitoring with all state and federal funds in terms, not as much state funds, but federal funds in terms of making sure that we followed all the guidelines, special education, federal programs, all the title programs, and the CTE. They were all monitored. And there are some corrections that need to be made in our policies. They check everything from policies to timesheets. I can't tell you what all they do, but the policy you see before you in 4A1 is a special education policy, and it needed to be corrected due to the monitoring. They did not like the wording that we had, and so we made the we followed their recommendation for the wording. So that is policy 4.202. Ms. Johnson, do you have anything else you'd like to add on that?
It's an outdated wording regarding the forward programming, so that they have to remove that to update policy.
Is that the only change in that one, to remove the paragraph?
The highlighted part, we're just taking the highlighted part out.
I think it might have been reworded, maybe.
Student-friendly language in it, but pretty much that was the primary change.
Would be a first reading, correct?
Yes, first one.
Move to approve on first reading.
Thank you.
We have a motion to approve policy 4.202 on first reading. And a second by Mr. Chadwick. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderwort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The next policy is one that one of our guidance counselors actually was looking over and noticed that we had left out grade 9 and final, 4.602. And so we are just basically updating that policy to reflect what we're actually doing.
That's first reading.
That is first reading.
A motion to approve first reading.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the first reading of policy 4.602 and a second by Mr. Vanderwort. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderwort,
Yes.
Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Part C is the approval of the calendar for the 25-26 school year. We did post this on the web as requested last month by Mr. Haley for public comment. There was no public comment at all. No one responded positively or negatively as far as that go. But this is the calendar, as I said, that we had in 2013, 14. It is identical to that. And so to approve it.
Sure. So moved.
Motion to approve the calendar by Mr. Chadwick. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vanderboard. Any other discussion? Mr. Haley?
Question, if you give me just 1 second, I'm just gonna find it. I'm telling you where it was. And it has to do with them. You pull the calendar on the May 26th, the last day on the half day on the 23rd.
Yes, sir.
With the number of days, there's no way to alleviate that.
Correct.
But looking back, is there another day that it might fit into that would avoid us having that half day?
Mr. Haley, I actually questioned that myself because I didn't really want to go that Saturday. And so my recommendation was going to be to take the January 2nd and use that as an instructional day, or the 5th instead of a staff development day. I believe the 5th is staff development, and make the 2nd of January a staff development day, so that the children would come on the 5th. But I had about 6 to 8 of our staff in there, and we reviewed, and they all just had rather have the 10 days at Christmas and leave that on the 23rd. So that is why I left it that way.
I'm glad we were thinking about that, because I remember the last time we had a Saturday, it became an issue for the staff that had to work. So we're still out before Memorial Day. I think that was the goal, and we still reached that. But if you've looked at that, then I'm fine with it.
Yes,
Mr. Vanderboard?
the other half day is the December 19th.
Yes. That's the right before Christmas.
Folks don't want to do that. Probably not.
That 19th?
I'm just for discussion.
Half day counts as a whole day, so you'd have to find a day that we're not going for the half day. Or
Yeah.
That's
make
true.
it work. So.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
Usually take
Oh,
that.
no, it doesn't. You can't put them
Yeah,
together.
that's what-
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. We're trying. We're trying here.
I
think the fact that you recognize that,
Yes.
and that's why we're not blindly looking around in 2 years. Those are here that it was a discussion anyway, but maybe it'll snow that day. We can cancel school. Thank you.
I'm sure that's going to happen on May 23rd. Yes.
It's in the trend of things.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboard?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have the legislative resolution. Mr. Chadwick?
We were asked at the last meeting about offering a resolution and being opposed to the voucher system that's being proposed. And Mr. Hall has drawn up nice resolution here. I think each of you got a copy. We need to read it to everybody or what?
Read it.
It's got a lot of whereases in it.
Yeah, we,
Okay.
I've read it.
About the eighth or ninth whereas is probably the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yep, 8 or 9,
8 or 9, the bottom 2, 3.
bottom 3.
Okay. Whereas Tennessee ranks in the bottom 10 states for school spending per pupil from U.S. Census Bureau, and private schools may cost many dollars beyond the voucher, any diversion of needed resources under a voucher program would further diminish the ability for Tennessee public schools to meet mandated accountability standards and address achievement gaps among students. And whereas vouchers eliminate public accountability by channeling tax dollars into private schools that do not face state-approved academic standards, do not make budget public, do not adhere to open meetings and record laws, do not publicly report on student achievements, and do not have to adhere to public accountability requirements contained in major federal laws, including special education. And whereas education savings accounts threaten the district's ability to maintain the quality of its educational offerings as ESAs would divert state funds to private actors and disrupt local control of education. And it says, and it be resolved that Dickson County Board of Education urges the Tennessee General Assembly to consider the effects that education savings accounts will have on school districts and to instead seek ways to support and strengthen public schools throughout the state. And this resolution adopted will be dated today.
Thank you, Mr. Chadwick.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
We have a second. Do we have any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Ms. Brogdon, I would comment, if I may.
Yes, you
Just,
may.
I hope our legislators take this to heart. We pass these resolutions and then folks go up there and vote. Seems like we're ignored. So I hope they take it to heart, and I hope they have heard us and listened to us, because I'm assuming most of the districts are going to pass this, and I just hope they listen.
Mr. Underwood.
If I could say, we met with some representatives, state representatives, Monday and Tuesday in Franklin, and they heard from the Tennessee schools. And so I'm with you, Kirk. I hope they listen. But let me tell you something. It was pretty boisterous in there a few times, and I appreciated them being there, because I know it was uncomfortable for those representatives to sit up there on that big stage and hear from us, tell them, the reality of what we're dealing with here. So I just want to make that comment.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have under administration, next we have approval of the Director of Schools contract. I think you've all been handed a copy.
What copy we've been handed, does it differ at all from what was emailed?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Very rather lengthy crowd.
Do you have any questions? You would?
Mr. Chapkus.
I was just saying, I wonder if we could take a break. This is
Yeah.
maybe rather lengthy.
Yes. We'll take a 5-minute recess, please. next, so approve the director of schools contract.
Has Ms. Christie signed this contract?
Not yet.
What the answer?
Not yet.
Thank you.
You have a question, Mr.
We're
Chadwick?
going to discuss any particular ones.
What would you like to discuss?
Well, 16. How is 16.2.1, how's that connected to the 16.3, 1 and 2? Page 5.
The progress toward the goals?
Yeah.
How is it related to the evaluation?
Uh, 16.2.1, 2, and 3, and 4 are like the categories. To me, those are the categories. Okay. And then we get down to 16.3, and all of it says it must be completed at least 30 days. Shall. These look like these will be things that can come up after the contract is signed and agreed to. We need to be fair for Dr. Sutherland that not keep her in limbo as to what the evaluations are going to be.
We will meet to go ahead, Mr. Vanderbilt.
No. I'm a nervous twitch, but I do have some comments.
Yes,
Or have a question actually that's directly on.
I mean, we got to be fair to her.
We will all meet with her when we have a retreat to discuss what we will use to evaluate her. This contract doesn't give the terms of her, the specific items in her evaluation, but it's just saying that it will have to be done by the 30 days before the end of the fiscal year.
So do we come back and amend this one?
I don't think that the contract has to have the evaluation pieces in it. It just says she has to be evaluated.
If you look at 16.4.2, the agreed upon, that says the agreed upon goals and objectives will be incorporated into and among the criteria upon which the director is evaluated. So you all agree, the director and the board will meet annually in 16.4 and agree to establish goals and objectives for the upcoming school year. In the next section, the goals and objectives will be reduced to writing and signed by both parties, and that will be among the criteria to be reviewed upon. But in as much as you call them categories, Mr. Chadwick, that is a way to describe the pieces of the evaluation that has to occur under 16.2. 16.3 deals with the timing of the evaluation. So the evaluation includes the director's progress towards the goals, which you're adopting in 16.4, the working relationships of the directors with the board, the staff, the students, and the community at large, in any other matters relative to employment. And then the first evaluation will occur 6 months after employment.
Well, I just, look like anything that we're going to agree to needs to be agreed. Everything needs to be agreed to up front.
Mr. Vanderbilt.
Before we get into, she might not like something we're proposing or vice versa, whatever. We just need to be fair to her up front.
Mr. Vanderbilt.
So I'm going to preface what I'm going to say. I absolutely want to get a contract together. I have literally, because of my schedule, I have read this once. And I have questions too, and I would like to see us do like a work session, and we can call it a work sessions. I mean, this is important. It's important to Dr. Sutherland. It's important to us. I don't think it's something that we should just, and I know there's been hard work done on it. I'm not saying it obviously shows, but to Mr. Chadwick's point, I was working on one of the towns is that they're getting ready to potentially look at an auditor. Well, part of the auditor's contract had an evaluation attached to it. So it's fair to have some level of an evaluation. We already have an evaluation. I understand we've been working for months towards a new valuation that we could work on putting in place. It's things like that I want to have time to think on and look at that I personally think is important. I think it's important to Dr. Sutherland. I would like to see us move this to a special called meeting to take action on, but to work through and then send any issues like that we could to Mr. Hall to potentially redline, or we can redline ourselves. But sure, we need to get a contract in place. We're looking at March 1. I think that's a good date. There are a few days before March 1, I think. So I would like to see us move it. There are folks on this board that I've been serving with for a while, and if they get a contract the day before, they're more likely they're not going to want to vote on it. I don't want to vote on it. So that's my position.
Mr. Parker?
One thing that if we had to change one word in this contract, 16.3 within the first year, I would like to see that say within the first 6 months. And if it says that within the first 6 months, it puts that retreat, that board director plan in place before our new school year starts. If we put that board retreat, that board director plan in place before our new school year starts, at the retreat, we would talk about evaluations, figure out how we're going to evaluate it. I think with evaluating on a board plan and the director carrying out that plan that we carry out together, and evaluate on that evaluation, I think is going to change every year. Hopefully, we're going to meet a goal, and then next year we're going to start another one. We're going to work toward a goal, and the next year we're going to work on something else. So I think that evaluation, as far as evaluating on that board plan, is probably going to change every year. Anyways, the only thing I would like to see it done in the summertime and before the school starts, before the next year's school season starts, so that she has the plan to work toward, to be properly evaluated on from the beginning of the school season.
Any other comments?
To Mr. Parker's point, trying to find the paragraph. Mr. Hall, help me out if I'm understanding it wrong. But I think that 1 year you're talking about 60.3 is the evaluation aspect, the goals and planning. You're right, they're dynamic. They're going to change every year, but they're mutually agreed upon. So I think that's the piece that our past contract said we just never did. And I say we, a board in general. But in here it states that we would meet in the first 90 days, somewhere for.
It did. We changed that to 6 months. It's 16.2.4 says the first 6 months of employment. Within the first 6 months will be the initial evaluation. That first year that Mr. Parker is talking about is to create the written instrument, the form that we do the evaluation on. And it used to be the 1 through 5 form that we evaluated Dr. Weeks on. But what we've done is we've expounded on that idea. So 16.3 creates the form, and then 16.4 creates the annual goals and objectives, which would change every year. I don't think necessarily the form would change every year. You create the form one time, and the goals change every year.
But didn't our purchase from TSBA for the search also include 2-year evaluations, where they did the evaluation process
I'd have
Is that
to
not
go look
included
back
in
at
it? I remember the discussion, you wanted to add it. And sitting in on the little breakout session of their evaluation process a couple of years ago, it's more than just a form. It's a public survey. It's an employee survey. They actually moderate the evaluation process. The best I recall, that was included in our purchase that we purchased already, which would be the process. While the 1 to 5 forms, what we've seen, what we've done in the past, I think the valuation that we have already purchased from them would cover that.
Sure.
Now, I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that we added that on to that purchase.
It'd be nice to figure that out so we could add it in
I was
to this. That's why I'm happy to have the discussion and want to have the discussion, but I don't want to do it when I've only read the contract once. So
I certainly agree with that. I've done some contracts.
I'm asking that we pass it to Monday at 6. Folks are available. I'm asking. So,
I'm not-
Dr. Sullivan, you're not available on Monday? Okay. Then I guess we could take it up after March 1st then. Or on March 1st.
So are we saying March 1st?
You could be out down, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not done. Until after the 1st of March.
When would you be available? I guess I'm asking.
I
So
don't have
fine.
anything with me. It'll be, the 3rd is Sunday, it'll be the 4th. Couldn't meet until sometime around after the 4th, 5th, 6th. If we don't want to, go on the contract today.
be available on the 5th.
I can fit.
Are you going to be out of town, Mr. Underwood?
I'll be out of state
Could you be available by phone?
on that day.
Monday.
Oh,
On the 1st or
Monday.
this coming Monday?
Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I could do phone.
Via the FaceTime?
I've got a face for radio.
For being out of state, he can.
Yeah.
So what day is that? That is,
26th.
okay. February 26th. What's a good time?
About any time you pick.
7,
7
Mr.
a.m.
Parker?
7.
Yeah. 7 p.m.
May I ask Mr. Hall?
Sure.
Mr. Hall, can he appear by Zoom? Is that?
Yeah,
all right,
let me
that's-
check the statute, but I do think so, yes.
But we would be taking action to vote. I think that becomes the issue.
I think we did it with Joe before.
You're allowed to do it only out of state, or there's exceptions to it. And
Military.
Where you're checking it.
Yes, and I wanted to check about as long as we have a quorum physically present here, then he's allowed to participate and we can take action.
Can we put his picture on the thing so that we can all see?
It still has to be.
Let's not do that.
Well, last time.
No, it wasn't. It was just our first flat.
The chairman has to see it. That's,
Yeah, has to
that's
see
the
it.
law.
Just the chairman.
I think everybody.
It doesn't have to be on the screen.
Yeah, both screens.
I want to make sure you're able to vote. So
I'll send y'all a picture and to put it on there. Yeah, make sure you know too.
You put me up there, I'm gonna get me a backdrop or something.
We need to do it on the 27th or 28th. because we have to
To
have
give
5
notice.
days prior notice of the scheduled meeting. 27th would be the 5th day.
Tuesday, right?
I've already got a meeting
Can you do the
scheduled.
28th?
I can do the 28th. Yes.
Are you at the exceptions now?
Yeah.
So that would be the 27th or 8th.
Yes. Can you do the 28th?
27th's fine.
He can't do the 27th. Can you do the 28th?
Yeah, I can do it. I can do whatever day y'all want.
You gotta have 5 days for notice because we'll be voting on contract, is that right?
Cause it's a virtual meeting at that 5 day notice.
Oh, gotcha.
My fault.
All right, so we have February 28th at 7 p.m. to discuss the contract.
Special.
Special session.
It's Dr. Sutherland. She can be here. Sure she can.
I'm sure she will be.
Well,
Is that okay with you? Thank you. Twenty-eighth at 7 p.m.
It just kind of seems, that we need to have everything in there. If I go hire a contractor to work on my kitchen and he says, well, I'll charge you X number of dollars, and we get in the middle of it and I decide to change things, there can be crisscross. I mean, like I said, want to be fair to her.
So
Mr. Haley?
I see your point. I guess what I see is that and yes, maybe on the evaluation time frame, what was probably said, but as far as the ability to have annual planning and set goals to be evaluated upon, I think that dynamic has to be there. And let's use an example that if Dr. Sutherland's here for 10 years, the criteria of education changes annually with the legislature, things like that. So that annual goal setting, mutual agreed upon goals to evaluate from, to me, gives us more fairness than to say you'll make a certain score every year as long as you're here. Once that score is not met, then gives us more freedom to work for the community, because those things change every year. Take COVID years, for example. God forbid that happens again in 3 years from now, or something of that effect, or something different. That changes. Just like putting in here, you must have an attendance record of X%. It's just not so subjective, but you can't see that much into the future. So I like the dynamic of the annual goal planning for that aspect. And if we're talking about red line version, do we need to do the red line items tonight to put out there to be discussed, or is it just to re-review and study to come back and address them?
I'm happy, doing the red line tonight, or we can present them to Mr. Hall. He can circulate.
That would be also
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. You all could give me your proposed red lines, and I can incorporate them into one document.
Pink lines in your case, in your pink, they'll still work.
Thank you both for your work. I know it's been a lot.
Miss Madden, do you have comments you would like to make tonight?
Your resolution, that's going to be an issue for several years. It's definitely okay. Mr. Madden, what we have found out that when we email, our legislators doesn't very good, so we've hit social media. We can't erase social media, so we reach them that way. There's just a couple of things. Centennial on March the 14th is having a literacy night. So, y'all come out.
Having what?
Literacy night.
Thank
They
you.
do reading activities. Then Stuart Burns is having their STEAM night on March the 21st. STEAM is where we do math, science, art. I'll put that all together. And I have Miss Fortner worried because I told her I was going out with the baby since I'm doing the science show. Please don't make it too big for me. But other than that, that's what we got. Thank you for your support of public education.
Thank you. You also have some items that were left at your desk. There's a education day that covers some of the topics that were talked about today with the community leadership team that was here. And it's got some good information in it. So it's something good for y'all to look at and review. And then there are two more items. Do you want to talk about those?
Sure.
Ms. Bee?
Miss Adams and Mr. Hall have been working through McGraw-Hill. It's our book company that not a book company, but it's we use Achieve 3000 program through it, and they would like to do a study with Dickson County Schools. And what you see in front of you is just something that you wanted, Alan, you might want to address that you wanted them to look at and to recognize that they would like to do this. This second part right here is a kind of what the case study would look like. They did one in Texas, and they would like to do one in Dickson County. Ms. Adams, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
We have interacted with this company for the past 6 years. Their programming is quite effective. I feel like it has helped us with our rewards to status. So I'm happy to share what we do with them so they can make it as a case study. If the board is okay with that, that's fine. If you're not okay, it is still fine. We'll continue to work with you. And they just want to know what the principals and teachers are doing because the kids are doing a lot of growth academically. They just kind of want to hear that from the principals and the teachers.
Well, and I'll brag on Miss Adams here to say, because, I mean, this is a national company. They want to use us as a case study, and the information that they get out of this case study will be valuable to us and to Miss Adams or to the district.
Yeah.
My concerns from a legal perspective were this licensing agreement, and I'm working with their lawyer on it, so I wouldn't really spend too much time on this particular licensing agreement because it's going to go away. And it'll be one that's a little more friendly to the board. So. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about it in a work session.
Yeah, do we want to set a work session for March? Because we need to follow up on some of the items with our priority list for some of the maintenance things, and we need to follow up on some of the items that we had approved for the stuff that Law Cook Martin was working on.
Yep.
Sound like we need to.
Sure, there's been a lot of work going on, so I think we definitely should set a date.
Right now, we don't have a work session for March, so. Okay, board meeting's the 28th, so
Probably the earlier the month, the better. And if knows availability, I can make any Thursday. I'll make every day work too. It just seems the way we normally meet.
7th,
So it's
14th.
I have no conflicts, so it's kind of a
It'll be the 14th. It can't be the 7th.
Tuesday nights.
I can do the 5th. Can't do the 12th.
And you join by Skype.
I think we need to verify that in all sincerity, whether you can hear by Zoom. I still think it might be an issue.
I think it changed.
Okay. All right.
So what day in March?
That was good look for you guys.
What that?
That's a field book for you guys.
All right.
It's Parker, it's physical for you.
March 5th?
I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. We can plan on 2 weeks. Works for me.
Can you do 6 p.m., Mr. Parker?
I can make it happen.
March 5th at 6 p.m. for a work session
And specifically, it's on,
we'll talk about this and the maintenance, that list of priority maintenance list.
Since it's a
And
work session,
also-
open discussion too, right?
Yes.
I was gonna say, go ahead.
Mr. Clifton?
Yeah.
Mr. Corley will be,
Oh,
we can have you the information I have on the other line.
if he's okay with that.
If I'm not here, Brad can come.
Okay. Thank you. That's it. Do we have any other comments by board members?
The thing in my packet, the student that won the Mark Green Award.
Mark Green.
Yeah.
What page is that?
Yeah.
Or is that in with the
Permission.
field trips?
Yeah. Because it entailed going to Washington.
Oh, yes, they, went to Washington DC and they, would you elaborate on that? I'm not sure where mine is.
Austin Allbird, 12th grade at Creekwood, winner of the 2023 Congressional App Challenge in Tennessee's 7th District. He created an app where students could keep up with finances. It's called it Finance Pets. And you'll be able to present this idea, showcase it at the Congressional App Challenge, April the 12th and 13th at the National STEM Festival in Washington. So is there any cohesiveness among, I mean, a lot of the schools put students of the week in there. I mean, that's just something each school does on their own. There's nothing that comes through the central office, is it?
That's correct. That would be a school.
So something like this needs to be in the paper. Need to let people know what our students are doing.
It actually does. It can be recognized as a director's recognition in the board meeting. That's what I thought when I read it.
I believe I announced this at the last meeting, but I'll be glad to get them a certificate.
We need to have him here.
Yeah, we'll have them here. I'm sure we can make that happen. Don't you think so, Dr. Sutherland? That's better.
Mr. Parker?
So I know we talked about it a little bit last meeting, but this is probably for real, Miss Vivian's last meeting. And Miss Vivian's last regular session meeting, if we sign a contract. But I do want to say that when we were talking about interim director, I really, it never really crossed me. I wasn't very concerned about it. I looked over, Steve said Vivian McCord, and I looked at Kirk, and Kirk's like, I see him shake his head like it's probably a good idea. And going after some senior board members that knew who it was, I went along with them and said, sure, because I looked at it as just a placeholder for a short time. But I was extremely wrong, and you put in a lot of work for us, and I'm really thankful. You went through a whole week of snow days. I mean, that's cool. And, you went through a lot of discipline things that I know, and I know you went through tragedies, and you went through a lot of things that a lot of directors never go through in their whole career. You did that a lot of work for us and started a budget for us, and really done a lot of legwork in a very short period of time, and done an excellent job for us. So I want to say thank you for serving and working with us, and it has been a pleasure, and couldn't have picked a better interim director for sure.
Thank you. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Almost every minute of it.
Most every minute. Let's just most every minute. But y'all are not going to get rid of me that fast. I'm still planning on working part-time and helping Christy out a little bit. And, my heart is in the school system. It's been here for many years. And I think we've got a great system going on. And I'm, the older I get, I don't have the stamina I used to have, but I'm still sticking it out because I love this system and I love these children. And so it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate the opportunity very much.
Well spoken, Mr. Parker.
That's what I was going to say. Mr. Parker, well said, and ditto.
Well, as knowing a former student, I was fully in compliance with it. I got more former students than I can count.
We all do, Mr. Chadwick.
Any other comments?
But you got some criticism in the paper about the snow day.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't get it from the staff.
There you go. That's okay. If that's the worst I ever do, Mr. Chadwick, I've done okay.
Any other comments?
Move to adjourn.
All right.
What is